Hi, this is Pat McDonald, your host for Banter and Beans, where our tagline is What's Brewing in Montpelier? And joining me today is Katie Trautz, who is the Executive Director for Montpelier Alive, who is truly keeping Montpelier alive. You are amazing. May I just tell you on video, I am so impressed with your energy and your just what you think of to do to bring people downtown. Katie's been helping me pull the businesses together to do these videos because we need you to support our businesses here in Montpelier and to come down and keep them busy. And maybe you could talk a little bit about the group that you work with. They're so tight, Katie. Mm-hmm. It's very impressive how they support each other.
Absolutely. Well, it's been a big year, that's for sure. Right. And years before, if we think about what these businesses have been through in the last decade.
For sure.
We're talking about Irene first, and then the COVID pandemic, and then now recovering from the 2023 flood and the anxiety of all of this happening again.
Right.
So Montpelier Alive has supported the business community throughout. And we host a Montpelier Business Association, and you're talking a lot about these businesses and how tight they are. They come together monthly and discuss different topics of interest and challenges that they have. And through all of these events that I just listed and these disasters and crises, I think they've come much closer to one another and realized that it really takes an entire business community to recover and uplift the community as a whole. Each and every one is so essential to the picture, and that connection has grown and strengthened, and that's helped them a lot.
I've done a couple of shows with businesses that do not have storefronts, and I was blown away by the number of businesses that are on the second and third floor that you don't really know are there. And I mean, it's huge here. It's fabulous, the services and the products that they offer.
Yeah, we have over 350 businesses that we know of that are in our directory at MontpelierAlive.com. We have a business directory. But we think there are many more than that even. These are just folks who have signed up to be in our directory. And we know at least 100, 150 are ground level, first floor businesses. So it's pretty expansive for such a compact downtown. For sure.
Well, and it's such a beautiful downtown, really. Yeah. I was blown away by where the water reached this time. I was here in the 92 flood. I was working for state government, and it was really confined to downtown, but this flood was just, I mean, everywhere. When you had an aerial view on your website, it blew me away what these people have had to deal with.
Yeah.
And not just here, obviously, but in Barrie and in many other places.
Yeah, the way that the landscape works and how Barrie and Montpelier and many small Vermont towns are situated, it's almost like a bathtub that not only do you have water running down the mountains, but it's also filling up. Right. And it is incredible how those waters rose during this previous flood. Is just devastating.
To lose all that in 2 seconds and it's gone. I have to congratulate you. This is the 25th anniversary of Montpelier Alive. That's a long time, and thank you for that.
Yeah, I mean, my time with Montpelier Alive has been very short, but it does have a rich background and a long history, a quarter of a century old, and I'm just so lucky to come into it at this time.
Well, thank goodness, because your
despite
energy,
the challenges.
Yeah, well, you were able to raise so much money, and everybody that was here doing the show commented about how many volunteers came forward from not just here, but everywhere. They came to help total strangers, just help.
Yeah, and that's the community at work. There were so many hands and minds and hearts involved with that emergency response effort. And then the fundraising too, I have to acknowledge that, we partnered with the Montpelier Foundation. There were a lot of people in the mix who worked so hard to bring Montpelier back.
Right, that's great. I know you've been working very hard on a lot of fun things to do going forward over the holidays. Could you talk a little bit about some of those things to get people to come downtown?
Absolutely. We have noticed at Montpelier Alive that a big piece of the recovery from the flood at this point out has to do with marketing Montpelier as a place to come back to. We are open for business. We still host fabulous events in the downtown, and most of the stores have reopened, and there's new business coming into town. So there's a lot to acknowledge and celebrate. Upcoming, we have this incredible event that has been almost 2 years in the planning, even pre-flood. We started planning for this event and this project, which is the Bridge Illumination Project. We have 7 bridges in the downtown that we have, with a professional lighting company, put illuminations on. And not just your typical Christmas lights, but lighting designs that really fit the historic nature of the bridges and the architecture. And what we feel like is this will be very transformational for the visitation, especially during the slow winter months. That we hope that this will be a spectacle that people both in-state and out-of-state will want to come see and make Montpelier a real winter destination. We don't have a ski mountain, we're not like Stowe, but we could claim this as one of our resilience projects that really speaks to where we're at in that recovery period.
Oh, that's great. Do you have a date for that? Or?
So the event is the bridge lighting ceremony where we turn all the lights on at once. And that's November 16th, upcoming next weekend. And we have a lantern parade where community members have been working hard at making lanterns, and it's going to be dark by 4:30 p.m.
I love it.
So we gather on the Langdon Street Bridge, and we have a few speakers coming, including Senator Welch and also Ann Watson and our current mayor, Jack McCullough. And then a band that'll be playing and the lantern parade, and it culminates with fire spinning at the Taylor Street Bridge.
I'm so excited.
It's really a big event, and I think it marks a new chapter for this town, and hopefully will put us back on the map in the broader sense. Following that is also our traditional Flannel Friday.
I love that.
It's like Black Friday sales and a lot of activity downtown, horse-drawn wagon rides the next day. We think December is going to be great for events. We're planning something every weekend.
And how does it get advertised for people so they know? I'm sure the Bridge must have it, and the World, and
all the local
papers.
publications. But our website is a great resource. We often will put a banner on the homepage that announces the upcoming event and takes you to the page for that event, and that's MontpelierAlive.com.
That's great. Excellent. No, because I know when I was at your office, you were talking about all these things, because it's so important for people to come down and get that activity feeling going again, the excitement. Because you don't know how much they're still struggling. And it looks like it's open, and it is, and the service is where it should be, but there's still a lot of troubles and problems to deal with behind the scenes. You know?
It's a small community, 8,000 residents year round, and it's not quite enough to support the businesses and the restaurants, especially as people tighten their belts in this economy. People are spending less money, and then the businesses have to continue their economic recovery from the last few years back to COVID. And it's really essential, and I think very key to our progress in recovery from the flooding and COVID, that people shop local, and that they keep those dollars in the community.
Right. Well, and especially, I've said this, I think, quite a bit. I'm probably repeating myself too much. The fourth quarter of every year is very important because they've got to have enough money during that quarter to get through the slower quarter, January, February, March. And I never thought of something like that, but I don't shop in January, February, because I've already spent all my money in December. And it's important that people have that extra cash to get through. We've lost a few businesses, haven't we?
We have, and that's in part because maybe those businesses couldn't open for that fourth quarter last year.
Right.
And so they didn't have that revenue stream to get them through that slow first quarter.
Right.
So we're seeing those actual results now. I think we had about 10 businesses close after the flood.
That's a lot for a small town like this.
It is. Yeah.
But as you said, others are coming in.
Yep.
And I've heard a couple of names the last couple of weeks of, oh, I haven't been there. What is that? And so we have to pay attention to what's happening here.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
good.
We do have a handful of businesses that have reopened. And from the seat of Montpelier Alive, I get a lot of inquiries for people who are looking to open business. And now is actually a good time for that, considering we have some empty storefronts that are in prime locations.
Right, excellent. Okay, I really appreciate all the work you're doing. Is there any final message that you'd like to leave with the folks who are watching us?
I think this is a wonderful opportunity and a wonderful series to focus on those businesses, to hear their stories, and to connect with business owners. Many of our businesses in Montpelier are run by the owner, and they're there every day, and they're just making ends meet, and they're doing it out of passion. And it's really important to know who's behind the scenes.
You know what's fun to listen to when they're talking about their business? Every one of them is so, as you said, passionate. You could hear it in their voice when they're talking about what they do. And it's like, it's contagious. I go home every night, I'm like, wow, this is so cool.
Absolutely.
Anyway, it's a great town. Hi, I'm just going to ask Katie to sort of wrap up what we've seen today, the businesses that you've heard from, the stories that they've had to tell. Katie, what would you like to leave our viewers with?
Well, I'm just so glad for this opportunity to highlight Montpelier and the downtown and our recovery from the flood and the challenges of the previous years. And I just want to encourage everybody to shop local this holiday season, enjoy our downtown, visit with the business owners. And again, thank you, Pat, for doing this series.
My pleasure. It was great. And thank you for all the work you do. Happy anniversary, 25 years. That's great. We'll see you. Thank you very much.